This is Butler County Mike MROC 2008 with a Ford blower motor install. Basically, what's happening is, and I can show you here in a second, I won't be able to show you with my face, but the blower motor won't work. And it intermittently works. Sometimes it turns on, sometimes it doesn't. And there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to do with temperature. It just literally, when you turn a car on, you turn the heater on, it either works or it doesn't. And it's not just the heater, it's the air conditioning, it's the vent, it's the cooling system, the vent, the blower motor itself. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you basically what they were saying. So this is a 2001 Ford Taurus, and I guess this has been an issue with a lot of the Tauruses from I think 97 to I think 2006. I'm not positive, but I think that was the range. Anyways, here's what's going on. Okay, so here's the controls. So there's no temperature control. That's what the internet would say was like, you know, can you set the temperature? No, you can either set it to cool or hot. You can't really set it to a specific temperature. But anyways, here's the fan speed. Now, I have the key turned, so therefore it's ready to go. So if you turn this on to the vent and then turn this up to high, one person on the internet was saying, well, if it only works on one speed, then it's one thing. If it works on variable speed, but you don't hear anything. Nothing is happening. So the one guy on the internet said, and I've already removed the panel. This is actually behind the glove box. He said, just give and I don't know if I can do this. Oops, give a tap to the motor, or to the blower motor itself. And he said, if it starts working, it's the blower motor. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it started working. So you can't really go all winter. Well, you could go all winter long, I guess, doing that. You could leave that open like that if you don't have any passengers, because you can see really no one can sit there with the glove box on their legs. But anyways, if you turn this off, you turn it back on, it works. But it's random. So if you turn it off, turn it back on, it doesn't work again. So then you have to tap it again, and then it works. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to replace that, and actually, here's what's kind of interesting. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I was going to say the car parts that are local, they wanted $80 for this blower motor, which I'll show you later. I got it from rockauto.com, no relation to me. I don't get money for saying that, but that's a neat website for people that want to do it themselves. They charge $25 for a part that you'd have to go into, I almost said it, one of these commercial retail places locally, automotive places that charge $80 for the same thing. Now, the difference is you do have to pay shipping, so that's what sort of sucks. I mean, the shipping was $9, I believe, so really instead of $25, it's really $35, but still $35 from $80 is still a great savings. So, and if you can do it yourself, but that's kind of interesting. Was, you know, this was an intermittent thing. It would happen every so often where it would stop working, and then it was frustrating because it seemed like it always did it whenever it was winter. And what are you going to do in winter? You're sort of stranded. Took it into the shop. They said they fixed it, which I don't know what they did, but it did work for the rest of the season. Then, of course, now it's acting up again. Okay, so that is that. We'll show you how easy it is to replace this coming up. MROC 2008, and as I said earlier, we're going to replace a heater blower motor assembly for a 2001 Ford Taurus. Here is the assembly itself that I got from Rock Auto. I wanted to correct myself. I actually paid $45 for this, so that includes shipping plus the sales tax. But still, going to these two competitors that are retail, they want $80, so you're still saving about $40. So here's what it looks like. It actually distributes the air throughout the entire car. So I'm going to walk around, and you'll see me disassembling the old unit and putting the new one in. Okay, so to get to the heater assembly, it's very easy. Underneath the glove box, there's this black paneling, and there's two plastic rivets, one on this side and one on this side. And you just basically have to put your hand in this little indentation that's already here for you. Pull it. I've already removed it, so you can see that there's one there, and then there's one here. And they come off pretty easy. They are plastic, so you want to be careful, obviously, because if you strip them, you're not going to be able to put that back together again. Once you do that, you open up the glove box itself. Obviously, if you had stuff in there, you'd want to empty it, because what you're going to do is there's a tab on both sides of the glove box. You're going to pull those tabs in towards the center, and the whole thing flops down. Your blower motor assembly, and I think I showed you in the last video, the last section of the video, is right there. The video's probably going to get a little bit dark just because it's getting dark out right now. But anyways, that's what we need to remove is the old one. And I've already checked the size of it. It's 7/16 of an inch. 7/16 is the ratchet size, or if you have a wrench. And you're just going to put this in here, and you're going to remove this. So we'll come back, and I'll show you the installation of the new one. So it'd probably be easier if you have a attachment, a screwdriver type of attachment, to do the ratcheting for the back and the right screw, because the ratchet doesn't have enough room to turn in there. For the front one, though, you have plenty of room, and actually you have sort of no room to put this screwdriver up from the bottom up. So you probably want to use this for two of the screws, and then use the ratchet for the front one, will be the easiest. Okay, so what I wanted to break in again for was to let you know that it's not an easy job by yourself, because obviously you have to hold the blower motor assembly and try to get these three screws in. The hardest one is obviously in the back, where the screw kept falling out. But basically, if you can, if you had a helper to sort of hold this up while you put them in, that'd be great. You can do it yourself, because I just did. With no assistance from anyone else, but I can see why mechanics will charge a lot more, because obviously they're doing a lot more work. It's a lot harder doing it yourself. Anyways, the new motor is in. We'll come back here in a second and we'll start up the engine. Obviously, before we do this, I'm not going to do it yet, but you'll plug in the power source back into the unit itself, and then we'll start up the engine and turn on the blower and see if it works. And if it does, then we're done. As I said earlier in the video, if this doesn't fix it, then it's the resistor, the capacitor resistor right here, and that would have to be replaced as well. But according to all the diagnosis that I ran through, when I tap on this, it would start working. So most likely it is the blower motor. And I'll also show you a snapshot of the old one. It looks like it was a little bit rusty and maybe corroded on the inside. So most likely the gears were all corroded where they were having a hard time turn. Okay, we'll come back here in a couple seconds. Okay, so I got all the screws tightened. And I'm going to plug in this connector now. So this connector goes right in here. It's pretty simple. It was difficult getting off because of the tab. Now you're just going to reverse this. Obviously, push these tabs that are on the inside here up in, and that shuts. And you just basically reverse everything. So you line this up with the hose, which is going to probably take me an hour. Stick that up in there like that, and then we're going to go over and we're going to start the engine up. Okay, so the moment of truth, we're going to try the key and see if my work paid off. We're not going to start the engine up, so therefore when we turn it on you should be able to hear it better. Air conditioning, though, will not turn on when you don't have the engine running. But anyways, we're going to try the vent I heard the click. That doesn't mean anything though. Okay, so I can hear it on all the different speeds. Oh, that's right. So the vent is the only thing that's on, the defroster. And that's because the car's not started. So, if we start the car, now you'll be able to see that it is working. And we'll turn it off, because like I said on the previous, earlier in the video, if you turn it off and turn it back on, it wouldn't work. But you can see that it's still working no matter what. So, it's working on all the different speeds, so it looks like the blower motor assembly was the issue in this case. Like I said, if that's not the issue, then it's that resistor that's in there that controls the temperature. But if you look at the, again, I mentioned earlier, I have a what they call a blue and red dial. So that means I don't have an exact temperature, so I can't set it to 68 degrees or 70 or 80. So you can just basically go by warmer and warmer and hot. So in that case, they said typically it's not going to be that resistor, it's going to be the blower motor assembly. Okay, so here is the old blower motor assembly that I pulled out of the Ford Taurus. As you can see, obviously a lot of dirt and grime in those little fan blades. That means that I was probably breathing that in for who knows how long. And then if we look at the core, you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but in the middle of your screen, it's all rusted. So most likely if I tore this thing apart, you'd probably be completely corroded, and that's what was causing the issue. It was preventing this thing from spinning properly until you basically gave it a good punch or a jab, then it would start spinning properly. So if you enjoyed the video and you would like to see further videos, please hit that like button and the subscribe button. You'll be notified when there's future videos. This is M. Rock, Butler County Mike, signing out.